Well, hello again, all the boys and girls out there in YouTube land watching. Georgia Beer Reviews back at you today with another one. And what I'm looking at is Genesee Ice. I thought I had done a review on this, but I have not. I've had this beer many times over the years. It is 5.5% alcohol by volume. I believe it was introduced in 1993, although Genesee has been around since 1878, according to the label. Genesee Brewing Company is out of Rochester, New York. They have updated the can slightly since the last time I had it with the 1878. And at the top, it says brewery across the top there. So Genesee Ice. All right, let's go ahead and pour this up. Like I said, I've had it many times. It's a very budget-friendly beer. I believe the 30 pack was $14.99, so looking at 50 cents a beer. All right. There's your pour. Nice golden color. A lot of streaming bubbles going up the glass. About a one finger frothy white head. Looks like a traditional lager or ale. Genesee Ice. So the aroma, barley malt, maybe a little bit of like a corn adjunct type thing going on. A lot of people say you're not really supposed to smell the adjunct or taste the adjunct, but I find a lot of times with these macro type beers, you do pick up on the adjunct. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's there. So breadiness on the aroma. There's a sharpness to this beer that's really difficult to describe, and I think it just comes from the ice brewing process. The fact that it's brewed at a little bit higher temperature as well, it just creates a very specific aroma that's really difficult to place. It's unique. Malty, bready, not really picking up on any hops. The IBUs with this are relatively low. There might be a touch of bitterness on the back end of the taste just to kind of balance out the malt for a presentation, but I'm not picking up on any hop character on the aroma. It does have a unique aroma, though. It smells a lot different than Bud Ice, Keystone Natural Ice. A lot of the big ice beers, this has a different aroma. Not a bad different, just different. It does smell good though. Has some nice qualities to it. So let's just go ahead and get into it and see what the taste is like. Cheers, guys. Taste is actually better than the aroma. Some nice bready notes. Um, Definitely malt forward, slightly sweet, maybe a little bit of like a corn adjunct type thing, but it's not as noticeable on the palate as it was on the aroma. Just a nice malt forward, macro style beer. Um, if you gave this to me, I would just say, oh, that's a macro lager. It doesn't really taste necessarily like an ice beer. That sharpness, that strange or unique quality that I was picking up on the aroma is there on the palate as well. There is a little bit of a sharpness to it, a twang maybe that you don't get with other beers in this style necessarily. It's not a bad thing. It's just unique, and it's definitely setting it apart from the other ice beers. 5.5% is standard for this style of beer. The body is light. Carbonation is on the medium side. The finish is crisp, clean, refreshing. The finish is pretty dry. There's no off flavors. There's nothing really that stands out about this beer other than it's got a little bit of a uniqueness to the aroma and taste that you don't necessarily get with other beers. It's not an off aroma, not an off taste. It's just something that differentiates it from other iced beers. It's really hard to pinpoint what that specific aroma and flavor is, but I'll just describe it as a sharpness on the aroma and a little bit of a twang, a little bit of the amped up maltiness, probably from the ice brewing because they're skimming off those ice crystals and concentrating the beer to a certain extent. So it just kind of magnifies certain flavors in the beer. Um, I think this is an excellent ice beer. Would it be my number one go to ice beer? Probably not because the availability is not the best. But when I do find it and I can get a 30 pack for less than $15 or right around $15, I mean, that's a heck of a value. And I'm going to do it every once in a while. I wish they had the singles available like I used to be able to find when I lived in Columbus, but they don't. The only configuration that I can find it in now is a 30 pack. So I'm not going to buy it as much just because I don't necessarily want 30 of any beer sitting around in my fridge. I like to branch out and try different things. Um, but that doesn't take away from the fact that this is still an excellent ice beer. I am going to give it a 93 out of 100. It's just getting into that solid A range. It's not the best ice beer, but it's far from the worst, and it's hard to beat the value. Pretty much 50 cents a beer, a 30 pack for right around $15. I mean, that's a heck of a deal. I love the updated label. It keeps it pretty simple, but simple can be a good thing when it comes to these types of beers. It's kind of a nice change of pace from all the crazy artwork that you get on a lot of these craft brews nowadays. But that's besides the point. We're talking about the quality of the beer itself. 93 out of 100. So if you can find Genesee Ice in your area and you like ice beers, I would highly recommend that you buy it, try it, because it is a great ice beer, an excellent ice beer. So buy it, try it. Let me know what you guys think. That'll do it for this beer review, guys. 93 out of 100 for the Genesee Ice. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. And until next time, everybody, cheers.